Welcome to another episode of Women in Focus. Our woman in focus today is a musician, is an artist. Her name is Avinanda Mukerji. Avinanda ji, most welcome in our program. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
What a beautiful color of your sari.
Thank you.
Is green your favorite color?
One of my favorites.
Which is the other favorite color?
Yellow.
Yellow, not red?
So to speak, I like all colors, but green and yellow pop out for me.
For you, huh? Now, I introduced you as a musician, as an artist. If someone said to you, who is Avinanda, what would you say?
Avinanda is a woman, a lady, who is a mother, of course, a wife first, a mother.
Yes.
And then a person who loves music, and music is her soul.
Wow.
So, and Avinanda is a person who likes to spread joy through her music and see little children enjoying and having a piece of that connection.
Isn't that
in
beautiful?
The community.
Isn't that beautiful? Now, you have been associated with music for how long? When was the first time music became, you were aware of music?
I was 6 years old when my parents introduced me to music back in India, in Kolkata, where I come from. So that's when I was introduced to music, and they took me to my first music guru, and the journey started from then.
Now, as a 6-year-old, getting into sitting in front of a teacher, your guru, as you mentioned, and learning music, was it instrumental? Was it vocal?
It was vocal.
Vocal.
Yeah.
So you're a classical vocal singer.
Yes.
And so, when you, as a child, 6-year-old, went to this guru, was there a gharana? Because I understand in classical music there are different gharanas.
Yes.
And so, which gharana was this?
She was my Guru Ma, Srimati Krishna Ghoshal. She was my first Guru Ma, and she hailed from the Kirana Gharana.
Okay.
And she also trained under other gurus there in Kolkata. Also trained with Kolkata Gharana, Bishnupur Gharana. So I started learning with her, and that's what I was introduced to in the beginning.
When we talk about Indian classical music, when you look at Western classical music, it's all written.
Yeah.
Is Indian classical music written?
A lot of it is written, and a lot of it, as far as my knowledge goes, is Guru Muh Vidya, as we say. It's the knowledge flows from the Guru's mouth, and that's what we hear and we retain and keep it and we practice, and then it passes on from one generation to the other in this manner.
So then that is the way that music has evolved in India.
Yes, absolutely. But a lot of it is written now, I suppose. With the passage of time, a lot of things are being documented so that it's not lost and it's there for the next generation and the next. So a lot of it is documented now, but then a big chunk of it was by word of mouth, and that's why the name Guru Muh Vidya. It comes from the Guru's mouth, the teacher's mouth, and flows on.
Do you think it was always from the Guru to the Shishya and so on and so forth, and it was never written because it is improvised?
Absolutely. It was like that, and it was how the Guru felt at the time when he or she was teaching. And I mean, how much of this can you document? Some things can be documented, but then when gurus teach you from their soul, I mean, not everything can be documented. So the student at that time when he or she is learning would listen to the guru and retain it, practice it, and that's how the tradition will flow, and he or she will carry it with them for
Eternity.
eternity
Oh,
and pass it on to
The
the next generation.
Oh, beautiful. Beautifully said. I mean, majority of the education, I guess, in India, because of a lot of invasions from outside, was not put in paper because Nalanda University was,
Correct.
burnt down. So the only way Indian musicians and poets, etc., could retain, I guess, was through,
Absolutely.
oral way.
Absolutely. That's what the parampara was, the tradition was, and it still is.
Now, classical music, many people feel that with the advent of Bollywood music and all that, classical lost its luster and is lost. How would you feel about that statement?
I do not think it is lost. Classical was always there, always is, and always will be. It's here to stay. It's the foundation to good singing. Without classical, without learning your sargams, how can one even learn to sing? It's like learning your alphabets, English alphabets, and then you get to write your essays later on.
That's right.
So
That's the basic, fundamental.
It's there to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the different, all these beautiful Bollywood rich songs,
Right.
that's there, some timeless classics, all these different songs, they're based on one kind of raga or the other, or a mixture of a few ragas. So the rags, the classicals are here to stay.
I want to take you to the journey, your journey into music, and where you were born, and how you got involved in all this music, and how you are a name in this music industry. But let's take a short commercial break and come back.
Thank you.
Avinanda Mukerji is our Woman in Focus today. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
ध्यानमूलं गुरोर्मूर्ति पूजामूलं गुरोर्पदम् ध्यानमूलं गुरोर्मूर्ति पूजामूलं गुरोर्पदम् मन्त्रमूलं गुरोर्वाक्यं मन्त्रमूलं गुरोर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरोर्कृपा मोक्षमूलं गुरोर्कृपा मोक्षमूलं गुरोर्कृपा ॐ श्री अनन्त हरि नारायण.
Welcome back to Women in Focus. Our Women in Focus today is a musician by profession, by her own soul. Her name is Avinanda Mukerji. Avinanda ji, beautiful segment that we've played called Guru Mantra. Can you tell me something about what is Guru Mantra?
Guru Mantra is describing your guru and what your feelings, your behavior, your concentration, your worship towards your guru should be like. In a nutshell, it's called Guru Mantra.
Ah,
So Guru Mantra talks of 4 essential steps.
yes.
In the first line, when we say Dhyanamoolam Guroramurti, we are thinking of our Guru. Murti means the
shape of the Guru.
Exactly. So we are thinking of our Guru in our head, Dhyan Moolam, we are thinking. Mantra Moolam Guror Vakyam. So whatever comes out from our Guru's mouth is like a mantra. So it's like a chant to us. Mantra Moolam, Puja Moolam Guror Padam. So it's puja, we are offering, we are worshipping at the lotus feet of our Guru. Padam is feet. And Moksha Moolam Guror Kripa.
Wow.
So if we can get into our Guru's good books, so to speak, if we get his blessings, that's all we need.
That's
for
the ultimate pleasure.
Ultimate moksha. The enlightenment process starts then.
Wow, beautiful. Now, looking at Indian classical music, it is so spiritual. So it all comes out of spirituality.
Yes.
Right?
Devotion,
And spirituality. The mere fact that you're looking at your Guru as your eternal, you know, your आप उनकी पूजा करते हैं, you know, and so keeping that in mind, your Guru then becomes the most important person in your life while you're learning.
Absolutely.
So have you, when you left that Guru, your very first Guruma, and you, how old were you when you had to leave your first Guruma?
First Guruma, I left around the age of 12.
Okay,
I would
so
say,
6 years with her.
Yes.
Yeah, and then?
And then the journey went on with my next Guruma, who also happened to be under Kirana Gharana.
Okay.
And she was Srimati Malavika Ghoshal in Kolkata.
Right.
And I stayed on with her for many years.
Right.
There was so much to learn, and so much to know. Learning has no end.
No, of course not.
So,
now the type of music, the type of singing that you do, can you explain for people who are not familiar with Indian classical music, what is it?
the type of music, it is essentially classical, classical vocal Hindustani music that comes from our land, North Indian classical gharana. And it's basically the riyaz. Riyaz is the essence of classical music. It's based on sargams, the paltas, the notes that we practice with, and different permutation and combination. That makes riyaz, that's the base foundation.
Wow.
And on top of that, we start our classical ragas, which is again a permutation and combination of different notes that gives shape to a certain melody, and which is termed as a raga. And every raga has its own timing and own mood.
So the morning, afternoon, evening.
Absolutely.
And the megh and the weather and.
Absolutely.
Oh wow! So the ragas will depict.
Yeah.
In the morning, you will, the raga that you will be practicing or singing will not be done in the afternoon or evening.
No, technically speaking, no. If I am to do a concert somewhere or presentation, then I would typically try and keep in mind the time frame when I'm presenting. And I will try, my first effort will be to pick a raga or a song that goes around that kind of time.
Okay. Is there a reason for that?
I do not exactly know the real reason to pinpoint to, but that's how it has always been in the course of raga. That's how the ragas have flown. I suppose it's to do with the mood of the day or at the time when you are doing. Like right in the morning, very early morning, it's all peaceful and calm. That's when we do Rag Bhairav. And it's so serene, it's quiet, you can connect to nature. And the flow of Rag Bhairav is such that you'll immediately feel that connection to Mother Nature.
Yes.
And then later on, as the day proceeds, and the feeling of the day changes,
Yes.
the mood of the ragas change, hence the different permutation and combination of notes, and they give shape and they give the feeling to that kind of the time slot that you're singing in. Come evening, it's more jovial, it's more energetic. You travel towards a little later part of the night.
Yes.
Then when it becomes really strong.
Okay. Ra, ra, ra.
Well into the night rag Malkos, which
Right.
is male rag, strong rag. So it's all to do with pretty much how the 24 hours is flowing.
Isn't
And
that
connection to the universe.
Which is your most favorite rag?
Well, everything is, I love everything. It's so difficult to pick and choose.
Yes.
But then, yes, because I do my riyaz in the morning,
Yes.
so I would definitely pick Rag Bhairav. That is one of my very favorite ragas. I also like Rag Malkos. It is a very intoxicating raga, so to speak. It
Yes.
has its own way and its own gravitas.
Yeah.
That is also beautiful. Rag Yaman in the evening, Rag Bhupali, it has a chanchal, a kind of, a feeling to it.
Flirtatious.
Yes.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I love them too. So
It depends when,
it depends.
which time you are in.
Yes, and how I'm feeling
Yes.
on that particular day.
Beautiful. I want to take a short break and come back
Right.
and talk about what you're doing right now and
Okay.
how did you come to Canada.
Okay.
So let's take a little break.
Sure.
Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Women in Focus. Avinanda Mukerji is our Women in Focus today. So Avinanda ji, we talked about different moods, different rags. So we talked about you starting your journey into the music world at the age of 6. When did you leave India and come to Canada?
I left India right after my marriage. 1997.
Okay.
I got married in later part of 1996, and then I left India in 1997, and I went to Hong Kong with my husband, where he was working, and from there I've been outside abroad all through.
So where else have you been?
My in-laws were based in London, in
Okay.
UK. So after my husband finished his job in Hong Kong,
Yeah.
we traveled to
England.
and I lived there for a big part of my life.
Right.
I had my sons were born there.
Lovely. So you have two
and
kids?
I have twin boys.
Twin boys.
Yeah.
Are they identical?
No,
They're fraternal.
they're fraternal twins.
Okay. And how old are they now?
They've just turned 18 this year.
Lovely, beautiful.
They are very musically, they have a strong musical sense in them.
Wow.
Very
What about your
strong
husband?
musical. Oh yes, he has a big musical sense in him and he loves music. He is an avid lover of music. He listens
Oh.
to European classicals and all kinds of Indian classicals.
Isn't that
folks.
beautiful?
Yeah.
And your music, is he fond of your music?
He is. There are certain songs that he absolutely loves and I can hear them that he's playing and listening to the
Oh,
songs.
isn't that lovely? Now, your life here and your musical journey here, are you satisfied with it?
I'm very much satisfied. Couldn't have asked for more.
Really?
Yes.
And are you, you have a school?
Yes, I have my music school, Taranga Sangeet Academy,
Right.
and I have some students whom I personally teach one-to-one,
Yes.
and I'm very happy with the way they're learning.
Yeah.
And
so when did you start the school?
2013, towards the end of 2013.
Okay. So there are some students that are graduating or...
Yes, we hold student recitals every 6 months.
Okay. That's very
And
nice.
we finished one just very recently last week. And students do a fabulous job, and they display what they are learning. So 6 months give them a time
Yes.
to prepare for the next recital.
Wow.
And parents, they come, they witness what's their own children as well as the other kids performing, and they can see the growth.
And where is your school located?
It's I operate it from my own home in Langley, Walnut Grove.
Okay, lovely. So if people wanted to know more about it, they can go on your website and
Yes,
find out more?
well, I am on Facebook.
Yes.
So the school name is Taranga Sangeet Academy.
Okay.
As well as parents can reach me out on my phone number, which is 604-618-1421.
I think it is beautiful that you come from the east of India, in Bengal, and you brought this knowledge with you going towards Hong Kong and England and then Canada, and you're dispersing that over here. We, people who live here, and you now live here, are lucky that you have retained that knowledge and are dispersing it to other people. So I would like to take this opportunity and thank you very much for connecting with us and giving this
you.
lovely interview.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored.
We would like to play a little piece that you have composed yourself, and with that, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Don't go away, we'll be right back.
मत कर